Step aside, Monsanto. Disney is coming for you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Power Vacuum. I'm Belmont, and today we're going to be talking about the Walt Disney Company and how they are actively trying to become the world's most evil corporation. Some of you may have heard about this latest case about a doctor dying at Disney from an allergic reaction to some food she ate, and how her husband is now suing the company for wrongful death. Or, I'm not actually sure what I don't think the details of the actual lawsuit have been released yet, because Disney's actively trying to make it not a lawsuit. And we got the story here from the Washington Post, so we'll just go over it real quick. The basics. In a complex legal move that has alarmed experts, the company, that's Disney, their attorney says that the man signed away his right to sue Disney when he agreed to the fine print while signing up for a trial version of Disney Plus years earlier. This is the man suing Disney over his wife dying. The man's attorneys wrote that Disney's legal argument is based on the incredible argument that any person who signs up for a Disney Plus account, even free trials that are not extended beyond the trial period, would have forever waived the right to a jury trial. Here's what we know. What happened to Kanakporn Ton Swan? I'm just going to call her KT. KT, a doctor at NYU Langone Medical Center in New York, was out to dinner with her husband, Jeffrey Piccolo, at Ragland Road Irish Pub in Disney Springs, a complex within the Disney World Resort in Florida, on October 5th, 2023. Tang Swan had a severe allergic reaction or allergy to dairy and nuts. The couple chose the restaurant because an online Disney map indicated that the restaurant accommodated people with allergies, Piccolo's attorney wrote in their lawsuit. To make sure, I was reading that too fast. The couple questioned the waiter several more times. The waiter unequivocally assured them that the food would be allergen-free. The couple ordered a vegan broccoli and corn fritter, a vegan shepherd's pie, fried scallops, and onion rings. When the waiter brought the food, some of the items weren't marked with the allergen-free flags that indicate that the kitchen followed instructions. So they asked the waiter again whether the food was safe for KT to eat. The attorney wrote, the waiter again guaranteed them that the food was allergen-free. About 45 minutes later, KT collapsed on the floor of Planet Hollywood, according to attorneys. She was rushed to a hospital where she died. A medical examiner found that the cause of death was anaphylaxis due to elevated levels of dairy and nut in her system, the attorneys wrote. This article doesn't mention, I read a different article, one that was earlier published, that stated there were signs that she had attempted or had administered an EpiPen to herself. So effectively her reaction was so severe that not even an EpiPen adrenaline shot was capable of overriding the anaphylaxis that led to her death. So Piccolo filed his lawsuit against Disney and Great Irish Pubs, which runs the restaurant in Disney Springs, on February 22nd of 2024. Disney leases the property to Great Irish Pubs. Disney attorney wrote that Piccolo's claims against Disney are based entirely on Great Irish Pubs' alleged misconduct. An attorney for Great Irish Pubs did not immediately respond to requests for comment on Thursday. Disney may be found liable because the couple chose the restaurant using an online Disney map that marked the pub as accommodating people with allergies. said David Hoffman, a professor of contract law at the University of Pennsylvania. The lawsuit blamed the restaurant group and Disney for KT's death, seeking damages of more than $50,000 for mental suffering, along with funeral and medical expenses. $50,000 is not even a lot of money. I was expecting this to be like $500,000, $500,000 for you effectively killing my wife. Piccolo bought the tickets to the park using a Disney account he created years earlier to get a free trial to the Disney Plus streaming service. Disney attorneys wrote, meaning he had already agreed to an arbitration clause. When Piccolo created a Disney account on November 29, 2019, on his PlayStation, he clicked agree and continue. The phrase subscriber agreement was underlined in blue font and included a hyperlink directly to the agreement. The first page on the agreement says in all caps that any dispute between you and us, except for small claims, is subject to a class action waiver and must be resolved by individual binding arbitration. Aha! It actually says a lot more than that. I've got it right here. Kill that. So, binding an arbitration class action waiver. Please read this provision carefully. You are agreeing to resolve all disputes between you and Disney through binding individual arbitration and include a class action waiver and a jury trial waiver. You and Disney agree to resolve by binding individual arbitration as provided below all disputes, including any related disputes involving the Walt Disney Company, its subsidiaries, or its affiliates, which would apply in this situation, except for 1. Any claim within the jurisdiction of small claims courts consistent with the jurisdiction and dollar limits that may apply, as long as it is an individual dispute and not a class action. And 2. Any dispute relating to the ownership or enforcement of intellectual property rights. Dispute includes any claim, dispute, action, or other controversy, whether based on past, present, or future events, whether based in contract, tort, statute, or common law between you and Disney concerning the Disney products or this agreement, or the exclusive authority to resolve any dispute relating to the interpretation, applicability, or enforcement of these terms or the formation of this contract, including without limitation the arbitrability of any dispute and any claim that all or any part of this agreement is void or voidable. Bunch of more legal speak, Here's the thing, and here's my problem with this whole agreement. Yes, it states future disputes, but does future disputes apply to things when you no longer have a contract? Wouldn't you have to have a standing contract? It's been a long time since I took business law or studied business law, so I'm sure the laws have changed. And, I'm not currently a lawyer, so I don't have any legal advice for these people. But when you select something, when you go to a place and you have a severe food allergy, and they don't honor that or pay attention, or they fail to make sure that you're safe and you die as a result, that seems to me like a form of negligence that results in a death. And negligent homicide or negligent manslaughter are crimes, right? And arbitration clauses do not apply to crimes. Criminal trials. Now, I don't know what he filed the lawsuit as. Mr. Piccolo may have filed it under, I'm not sure. We don't have access to that stuff yet because this hasn't gone to the trial stage. So the documents haven't been released. But if I were him, I would sue a negligent homicide or probably negligent manslaughter for the death, because when you repeatedly ask somebody, hey, is this safe? They tell you it's safe. I get it. It was the waiter, but the waiter works for the company. And is therefore a representative of the company. The company leases from Disney and is therefore represented by Disney. So even if the best Disney could do is say, hey, this has nothing to do with us, this is all the pub, sue the pub. But I really feel that this is a negligent death. and a negligent death, which would most likely be a negligent manslaughter because nobody intended for anyone to die. It's not still homicide. A person died. That's homicide. That's all that is. It's not murder. Unless, they knew somebody at the restaurant that really hated them. In that case, that's an entirely different trial. But for a negligent homicide, that's a crime. It's still a crime. It doesn't matter if you meant to kill someone or not. If a person died, a crime has been committed, whether it's to be acquitted later on or to have the charges dropped later on. That's for the jury or the judge to decide. But when a criminal action occurs, arbitration isn't permitted. You cannot arbitrate crimes, right? There might be... No, yeah, I'm pretty sure... Let's look that up real quick. I do not think you can arbitrate crimes. Can you arbitrate crimes? In general, arbitration is considered a private law domain. Matters relating to crimes, statutes, and family law are generally not considered to be arbitratable. And family law is another thing, but this isn't family law, even though it involves the family. This would be a criminal thing for me, in my mind. Like, this is negligent homicide. You can't feed people allergens, especially things that put their levels so high that an EpiPen and emergency care at a hospital cannot save you. Right? She went to a hospital. She died at the hospital. She tried to administer herself an EpiPen. It did not stop the reaction. That is a lethal dose of whatever they gave her. So, Disney just try and this is going to be a hot button case going forward because this is going to set precedents for how people view arbitration. And given that, who was it? Was it PayPal that tried to retroactively change an arbitration clause because they realized that they had to pay for arbitration themselves? And if something falls short of class action, but has a ton of people that are suing, basically a standalone complex. And a standalone complex is when a bunch of people acting individually appear to create a pattern of something that seems to be a group action, but it's not because they aren't communicating with each other. They're all acting individually. That's what happened with PayPal. It was a standalone complex of people needing to file the arbitration clause, and they got hit with so many arbitration clauses that PayPal was like, this is going to cost us more than it would cost to go to court if we tried this many cases. So they tried to retroactively change their arbitration clause, got in big, hot legal water for that. And this is something that I'm really curious to see what's going to happen moving forward, because Disney is trying to become the most evil corporation by saying that, negligent deaths can't be sued over. You have to arbitrate. And it seems kind of ridiculous because most negligent deaths are considered a form of crime because a criminal investigation will have to be open typically. I don't know what's going on with that. I couldn't really find anything about a criminal investigation yet. Again, this story is only a couple days old, so we don't know what's really going on because he filed the paperwork in February. Disney just recently had their lawyers come out and say, you can't sue us in court. We have to go through arbitration. So it's a developing issue. We're going to get some more news coming in the future with this. I might post an update. I really want to see the House of Mouse tumble like the House of Cards that they are, because this is ridiculous to dismiss a death of a human on your property as a simple legal matter that is to be solved in private arbitration. But that's really all I have for this case. This matter and this story. Belmont out.